It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque, and in the same church, in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are a clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees, that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of a president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but we star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome everyone to the 79th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. It's Tuesday, June 4th, 2019, and this is a publication from the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Public Education in English. And my name's Rick Kremd. I'll be your host today, along with Flint Mulhausen, and of course with Carolina Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who is our main presenter and host today. Carolina, are you ready to begin today's workshop?
Yes. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome everybody with a nice big cup of tea or coffee as usual. And enjoy the path we're going to walk. As most probably a lot of you have followed the news from a distance or very close by, there are a lot of changes falling into place, very positive. And I mean very positive. Our contribution to the wish of Mr. Keshe for world peace is adding and more souls are coming on board with the understanding that this is the best change that we can bring on the table for humanity and for all of us. I'm very curious with the piece that we were working on yesterday in the soul teaching, brought me back to one of the early classes of Mr. Keshe, private classes. And I do really advise a lot of our knowledge seekers, especially the ones which are students and have access to the private teachings, go and listen to the second session. So when you go in 2015, go to the second one and click on it. It is an amazing teaching. He is even explaining there how to achieve flight. He's been giving us all this information, but also he has explained the necessity for humanity to be ready and not to wait until it's, what, 5 to 12, as we say. I wish that students, a beautiful session. And if you want to know why that session came about, then go to the first session of that, 2015. It is a wonder to walk back on the path of the teachings of Mr. Keshe. It is amazing the amount of information which now, we are 4 years down the line, that was still in Trani in Italy. How are you going to look with a different perspective on the knowledge he has given and shared? And now you can start adding the pieces of puzzles that maybe you might have overlooked or not understood completely, but now it starts sinking in as a totality. It is beautiful. So, does anybody have any news regarding our last work on One Planet, One Race, One Nation platform from last week? Anybody, any thoughts or sharing? Please, no slow starters.
I'll remind the attendees that they can put their hand up and we can allow you to speak here or promote you to a panelist. Okay, and if people have questions or comments in the live streaming or YouTube, then they can put their comments in there. I was wondering what events you were thinking of, Carolina, that you thought represented some good news. So I don't know if you're talking right now, but your microphone is muted. Not hearing you, Carolina.
No volunteers? No messages? We're going to have a slow start? No problem. So, what did you notice? I will start with you because you usually are very wise with these things. Or
well,
very
observant. I'm just trying to think. There was something, but I can't remember exactly what it was right now. I'll have to remind myself. Just give me a few minutes on that. I was bringing up the wishes that we had before and just having a look at that. The last thing we had down was the World Peace Treaty. And we had brought that up as part of our wishes, and we had, let's see, we had a wish from Dean. I wish that the mothers, fathers, children, and creatures of the blue planet Earth with their souls unite as one family in peace, to join with our new family to show humanity's true grace with honor and love in the presence of the beauty of our universal family, to shine as one. And we came up with, from that, actually I should show this, that would probably be best. So let me get that lined up here on the screen so we can all see it. So, as I was saying, the wish from Dean came, we modified it to go to read, we are present that humanity and all life forms of planet Earth are shining as one, uniting in the beauty of our universal family, peacefully expressing the soul's true grace, honor, and love. It's from May 28th. And then we had, we as knowledge seekers are present, elevating the souls of all people and all nations towards world peace. And we had the peace treaty. All right, can someone suggest something that may have occurred this week that could be an indicator of the push towards world peace?
Hi, Rick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Pete, Universal Council for the Polish language. I came across an interesting piece of news today, which is a confirmation of our wishes over the last couple of weeks. Not only over the last couple of weeks, but that major wish of peace. I see it, implemented in a slightly different way, in the sense that workers of the what's it called, cargo in France, they were refusing. That was in Marseille. They were refusing to load ammunition for some weaponry that was to be loaded on the Saudi Arabian ships, and they refused loading of the ammunition. They refused a couple of weeks ago. There was also a case where Italian workers from Genoa were also boycotting the same ship. But then lately they refused to load ammunition onto another ship of Saudi Arabia. So, to me is a confirmation that, people even stop following orders of their bosses what to do, and they make their own independent choices, whether they want to be part of that sort of chain of events that leads to a war. And I think it's a beautiful confirmation of what's happening in France and Italy in terms of awareness of people and not wanting to take part in this process. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Any comments on that, or other comments or questions? Okay, well, I've got something to offer, which is coming from the country of Canada. And what we've had just recently is the release of what's called the final report of the National Inquiry investigating missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in Canada. And this has been a long time coming. There's complaints of violence against the Indigenous women in particular. And this this report actually brought out that there is, quote, a persistent and deliberate human and indigenous rights violations and abuses as the cause of the staggering rates of violence. And it mentions the word genocide with this report, that it actually was called in the report a genocide of the indigenous peoples created by the environment of the government and certain agencies and so on. So, and even the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, yesterday, initially he refused to say the word genocide. Yesterday in a speech, he actually did admit that it was a genocide of the Indigenous people of Canada. And so this is very important because it's number one, that this information even is able to come out. And number two, that the government did admit their part in this injustice. And now this will be sort of a blueprint for other peoples of the world, for them to speak out about their rights and their injustices that have gone on for many centuries, actually, because it's the they call it the settler colonialist structures that enabled this genocide. So this goes back to, various countries that have had the colonial mentality, including Britain and France and quite a few others of the world. And now this is coming back on them, because those attitudes and that kind of governing, the colonialist governing, is no longer considered okay. So I think this is very important. I think this marks a moving point, marks like a milestone for movement, both in Canada and further on through the rest of the world. This to me is part of the new transparency that's going on, and that I don't care if it's governments or individuals or the highest people in the world and the top religious leaders. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're doing something that's an injustice, it will come out. People will find out. People will virtually advertise it to all of their friends and pass on and share the links and so on. That's what people do now. And so in a way, we have power as people, because we're able to get together in our groups and have a voice and have a direction to that voice, and results do occur. So sometimes it takes a long time, like in the case of this report, it was many years in the making. But this is a really big deal, and I'm happy that this is coming out now in Canada. And I'm hoping, and I know that this will help with the healing that needs to occur between these two cultures, and more than two, actually, because it's representative of all the cultures that are the mixing pot that we call, well, it could be any country of the world. It's always a mixing pot. It's never just one culture. But in Canada in particular, there's many cultures involved. So this is representative that it's not okay to hurt others, essentially. And that's what it comes right down to. and whatever group it is. It's not okay to hurt others, and that gets resolved at some point, and that's what's happening now. So that's one thing out in the world. I'm very happy to see that all come to pass through this last week or so. Okay, anybody else out there with something to say about the world or about their own world that might have been different this week?
Hi, it's me, Ursula. How are you?
Hi, Ursula.
From the Oasis in France. And I'm living here 35 years, and I was coming from Argentina, where I got the first difficult historical moments. But here is otherwise, and I'm not France. I'm now living here 35 years. I got three boys, French boys, so I know very well this country. And I have always been very surprised about the behavior of France people. Sometimes a little bit cocorico, they know all better than others, and okay, it's a little bit this all this history that to know that we have the Tour Eiffel and it's the center of Europe and being the best and all this, what um, French people thought about themselves. So now we have 30 other members in the European Council, but as you know, the ideas was very good, but the intention not as well. So we are now awakening, takes it times, and it lands so um, uh, I don't know how to do it, but here we have good life. I mean, the Sécurité sociale, many help for the families, and this, and this make you asleep of what is happening really in the world. I I suppose many are thinking about Matrix and all this. The Matrix is coming now with much explanation of those who are still asleep. But okay, it's coming even in France. So I know what happens here. I have been working in European programs. Uh, 5 years. So I saw it from very inside and with politicals also. And so I saw this. I was even married with a politician. But if then you see, you open your eyes and you look from the inside and you learn very much. But this was in the hot Alps, not, it's a little country there. It's not as Paris or as Nice, or I've lived there 10 years in Antibes, and I saw things beaucoup much more clearly and was devastating. And that's why I go away. Now I'm in Vaucluse. It's always in the same region, and I'm living here and in the Pampa Française, or it's peaceful, many agricultures, good wine, nice people, also rich one. There everything close to Avignon. Avignon is the poorest city, one of the poorest city in France. So the people are simple, are workers. They are working much on their lands, and they are not very aware of what is happening, but they are more close to the land, more open to joy, to family, and this is very important. Um, and I think that all this will be only for those who are applying the plasma science. I I was very courageous. I think taking this 7,200 square meter land, but I enjoy it very much now. even if the connection is not good, even if this doesn't work. Now we are in the declaration d'impôt. My God, this is when you have to do with the system. Okay, you play the game, and then you be the more and more yourself. Um, for those who, as me, with a certain age, are not close to the retreat, I will never have this. But you know that when you know how to make the plasma agriculture and all this, and when you are in, in charge of education à la santé, it means education to health. It's my work as naturopath. Now I close my entreprise because I never won. I'm not a money taker. I'm a money giver, not money. I give it all, and I'm happy to do it. And now I'm in the right place with the right foundation, and happy to be with you and share what I'm doing. And my wish is that everybody of you can do an oasis, because it not need to be enormous. Oasis can be in your house, in your balcony, everywhere, in your heart, because that's what start the oasis, your oasis. We have everyone one oasis, in the heart and in the wish. In my concerns, I'm living really the dream of my life. My whole life, I was wishing to work with the nature, interact, because nature gives you all to eat, um protect you from the radiation. Um, Pete was asking me about the 5G, if I ask in our groups, and I answer him that the more you have the 5D, I mean the fifth dimension inside integrated, what we can catch now, as well as electricity, it's very powerful. And I know that I feel it, that the most we are to integrate it without fear, and knowing that something will happen, something very big, can be devastating all around us. But okay, when people don't want to learn, we cannot, as Mr. Keshe said, we cannot take a horse to the water when he wants not drink. And okay, it's okay. We must accept the difference. I got very much here. We have been 23 knowledge seekers. That was the beautiful, and now have others who are not yet, but they can learn, because uh, everybody can be open yet now for everything. For me, my specialism is the nutrition. And okay, it's a pleasure to make other taste with good fruits, and I have a chicken also with my own eggs, beautiful one. And okay, I'm I'm learning. The most of you here know much more than me for technicals and plasma science. And okay, I do my part, and everybody can do this, because you have all in your arms and in your heart, and we are learning, and we are here to help you. If you want to know something, you can ask. We have all our own web page, or Facebook page, or whatever. So welcome to all. The World Peace Treaty is now signed. As Universal Council Spanish, I got the honor to sign it. 23, I don't know how many exactly, 21, 23, or 26. We are Arabic, Spanish, and French almost in the same number. So whatever, you can do what you can do where you are, and be aware of what is happening, and learn very much, and share very much, because that's the most important you can do. If you want to ask something about, I can put also our page. You can see I put it all there, so you can come inside. Come also really with your family in vacation, and if you want, or with other knowledge seekers, you are all welcome. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ursula. Maybe you want to put the link in for the Facebook group for
Yes,
the
I will do it. I will do
for
it.
Oasis.
Yes, I will do it. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else like to say something at this point about their observations or some other comments? Okay, I guess it's back to you, Carolina.
No problem, Lyric. I'm just finishing my coffee.
Okay.
That's fine. So, you haven't noticed anything specific, Rick, on the news worldwide? Because otherwise you would have already mentioned it.
Well, there's a lot going on. Things are in flux in many ways. There's conflict between China and the United States in particular. And
That's
then,
not a conflict.
well, there is a conflict, but on the other,
Why
pardon
would
me?
you say, why would you say conflict? I think you should shed a different view on it. If America has stopped and put such a high increase of taxes on import, and people will start making their decisions sooner or later. So what are they actually doing is putting things right in so many ways. It's not that they are in conflict. It's just, you can't do this. This is not, this was never the agreement over so many years. They always been interacting internationally. They always had to respect each other's agreements which came on the table. The first one who tried to not to honor that agreement was President Trump with the agreement with Iran. And then you saw so many people start meeting together to make decisions. What are they going to do with this? Because that's not what they went in for, and they don't want to break their word towards Iran. They were honoring their word. So in part of this, that's why I was referring back to the first and the second. There is a morning and there is an afternoon session, and you were there, Rick. You were there from the beginning. If you remember, in Trani, the topic there is very clear for Mr. Keshe. It is extremely clear, and he has repeated it quite so many times. He says, man has never stopped killing, never stopped destroying. It has to stop. It has to change. And from there on, he says humanity is going to have to make a decision. What he explained recently with the, now he explained that part of the big change of the positioning of this planet came because of the removing of the oil blankets in the earth layers. There he is more specific that we don't have much time because we are out of position. So humanity has to start stepping up and moving very fast towards understanding, applying, and finding solutions for whatever problem it is. The knowledge is there to be, for it to be sorted.
Well, that's very true. And that reminds me of actually one of the biggest news items that I've encountered in my lifetime, which happened this week in regards to that. And it's subtle and probably no one has noticed because it was a very small news item. And what it is there's a lawsuit going on right now. Sorry, there's a lot of feedback through your speaker there, Caroline, through your speakerphone or something. There's a news item which occurred where there's a person that's has begun a lawsuit that's coming up in the courts that they had ill health from air pollution. And it seems like a very minor kind of idea, but the relationship or the connection between bad health and bad air has never really been legally established. We've talked about, mankind's talked about global warming and CO2 and climate change and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah over the last 3 decades, basically. Well, in those 3 decades, there have been literally tens of millions of people killed by the same air that the people that talk about global warming and things that might happen here and the weather might change and this and that, it's killed literally tens of millions of people. If it was an epidemic, we would be on it, but it's subtle. So anyway, this lawsuit has come up that's connecting bad health, specifically asthma and other illnesses that this woman and her child encountered by living close to a highway. And if this goes through and it's approved by the courts, then essentially that makes the connection between health and bad air. And she's will get somewhere between $100,000 and $1 million. And that could go into a class action lawsuit that could include, I figure, roughly 1 billion people on the planet, times somewhere between 100,000 and $1 million each. And if you take 1 million times 1 billion, that's a very, very, very big number. And it's a bigger number than anyone has ever considered before. So essentially, the way I look at it, we're looking at a mass transfer of funds from the oil companies and from the auto manufacturers, the truck manufacturers, the shipping companies, all those that are responsible for the bad air are directly responsible for the bad health of literally billions of humans on this planet, because every single person is affected by the nanoparticles that is in every cubic centimeter of air on planet Earth at this point. Every breath you take has these particles in it. Whether it affects you or not adversely is another question. So I think it's going to be the biggest transfer of wealth that has ever been conceived of. And this will help lift up the people that now, for example, there was a woman that was in the news. She's labored her whole life to be in a retirement situation and have her home paid for and so on. And what happens? Her kid gets cancer, and every single penny that she saved had to be spent for that cancer and still has to be spent. And this is what's happening now with people. There's so much prevalence of cancer. The Canadian government estimates there will be a 100% incidence of cancer within 20 years here. That's every single person will have cancer. Whether you die of it is another question, but every person will have cancer within 20 years, they estimate, according to the way the graphs are going. So this is a big thing, and that transfer of funds will help enable the new transition into a new economy, into a new way of doing things that eliminates the use of oil and the burning of fuels on this planet. So we got to put the blanket back on the baby and allow the oil to stay underneath the ground where it's supposed to be doing its job there. And so, yes, I think this is the biggest news that I've heard. I've been pointing out this connection to people for many, many years because I've known about it. I've experienced it. It's the air kills people. Yes, the UN estimates 8 million people a year are killed by bad air. 8 million people. That's over 20,000 people every single day. Just in the time I'm talking, dozens of people have died from air, bad air. It's just not, it's not right, never has been, and it's about to change. I'm very happy about that.
Rick, if you remember a teaching in Barletta, I can't recall if it is the first one after Fabio's passing, or if it was later. I can see it in front of me, but I can't place the time or I think it is Barletta, where Mr. Keshe explained that it was like in a way that he said the Illuminatis and they agree with the knowledge, but they still want to go ahead with the depopulation as so many quite prominent people are flatly saying this in public domain. We all have heard that people are complaining about water contamination, fracking, spraying chemicals from the airplanes on purpose, viruses which are appearing where they should not appear, that they become even epidemic. All sorts of funny things are actually related to the fact that they have spoken that they want to depopulate the planet. And Mr. Keshe goes exactly the opposite. And he says, exactly again in that teaching, which I'm referring to in the private, the second one, he says, you cannot take humanity with this few amount of people into space, because too many will still make mistakes, and you're not with that extreme amount to survive in space. You need to go in huge numbers to be able to resettle wherever that might be. I think it is time for us to create a wish that we first can request for the truth in this matter to come on the table. And secondly, we can create a full stop to this. If we have seen in the last 2 weeks after the first warning of Mr. Keshe, the change of direction and conversations and meetings, and Iran is willing to come on the table, and there are a lot of things in public domain, but people can't connect them because they're not a knowledge seeker. But I have watched from a distance, and of course, Mr. Keshe has given me feedback here and there a little bit. It is amazing what we are all together achieving. So with the air pollution, it's done on purpose. And there are so many things in place that all have been part of that what a few can call upon humanity to depopulate the planet, it's unbelievable. I don't even understand why public hasn't gone into it. Why are they not responding to these kind of declarations in public domain? But we, as knowledge seekers, as Mr. Keshe said, we have the right to stand up. We have the right to put the correctness on the table. And I think we should create a wish in that way that all these harming factors will be taken out of equation. But we need to work on it because that is our wish. That is what we want. And we all, each one of us has encountered somewhere a problem on the planet that we say, and this is not acceptable. And they have no fear of showing us how they are even doing it. So we should definitely have no fear to put it on the table and say full stop. And on the other hand, whoever is suffering from any of these, get in touch, please, with knowledge seekers, get in touch with the Keshe Foundation. We are there to supply you with the support needed to reverse the condition or to support you with whatever condition it has caused or harmed you in any shape or form. Because in that first teaching, or the second one, Mr. Keshe is referring to what came on the table with the solution of Fukushima. If we can share and give freely a knowledge to convert such a damage from what happened in Fukushima, that they can release the water back into the seas because it doesn't carry any more, no more contamination. You can imagine what we can all do together by teaching and giving and sharing whatever ailment it is. Because I had a request last week on my messenger. We are getting damaged by the G5. I said, you can protect yourself. Simply use the infinity loops, which is simply copper wire, nano-coated and twisted in an 8 with no extra twisting or turning, just a simple 8 shape form that it connects in the middle point, and you just hang it around the house. You place it on your attic and you place it in the basement. You can put it in the car in the front and in the back, just hanging on a small string, because those will absorb the fields that you don't need. It's like in a simple way, it's like a filtering system. I have them on my phones, I have them on my computers, I have them on my Wi-Fi systems, I have them everywhere around the house. I even used the coils from the MAGRAF systems. I just stretched them out a little bit, I twisted them and I attached them in the middle and I just hang them around the house. No problem. Because they are nano-coated, they absorb. But don't wear them on your body. They have to be away from you. 1 or 2 meters. That's why I said hang them on the windows, hang them on the doors, on the walls, put them under your bed. If it is that bad, you have the solution. If you don't, ask the knowledge seekers how to do the normal process of with caustic soda to do your nano coating. You can just strip a few wires and just place them already in an 8 shape form within your nano coating box. And then you simply wash them with clean water and just hang them on little strings. You can place them in your gardens to even when you go outside, when it's nice weather, or you go traveling to hang around your tent, you protect yourself. You have all the knowledge. It's just a matter of applying it and pass it on, especially in the zones, give it to neighbors or hang it without even saying a word in your street to protect all your people around you. There is no harm in that. They might say, oh, what a funny thing turned up in the tree here, but it serves its purpose. So you can decontaminate your water if you go back to the teachings of Fukushima. You can go through the knowledge. You know that you can clear your waters through carbon filters. Even the simplest way you can protect yourself. You got humidifiers. You can put CO2 water in there. You can do so much to support yourself. And if you go, don't only learn about how to create your flight system, but if you place the star formation within your home, and as what we've been discussing yesterday in the private teaching in the soul teaching, you learn how to do it yourself with walking away from the GANs and the nano coating material. You are that container that can create that. It's explained there. So it's the same feeling that you have to understand, like we did last week, as I explained. When you go into the depth of the understanding that the one word they're using is depopulation, it's spoken out everywhere. You can find it. Just trace it on the network. So we are knowledge seekers. We can create the wish to reverse that condition and definitely to bring the truth on the table, what is going on where, so that we can prevent it or it can be dealt with in public domain. Because if we don't ask, it won't change. They will just carry on playing. But this way we will stop them, like we have stopped or reversed and changed the condition in a more peaceful way. That's the only option we have. Any ideas?
Well, I've got a great example of a reversal that's just occurred over the weekend in the relationship between the US and Iran. And what's happened is that President Trump and his Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, which people might be familiar with, Pompeo has said had some pretty aggressive statements toward Iran recently. But on the weekend, the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, excuse me, there's you need to mute, Carolina. There's a lot of feedback through your microphone there. Mike Pompeo generated headlines when he offered Sunday to hold talks with Iran without any preconditions. And he says, we're prepared to engage in a conversation with no preconditions, he told journalists at in Switzerland on Sunday. We're ready to sit down with them. And he asked if it was if that statement marks a change in policy. He insisted that it does not. He said that President Trump said well over a year ago that he was prepared to meet without any preconditions and willing to talk, etc. So in an abrupt turnaround, you might say that this Pompeo is saying that they want to sit down with Iran now, and they're signaling that they really do want to sit down with the diplomatic channels. So this is really new and unexpected, actually, from Pompeo, especially, who are now saying that they're not actually looking for regime change, and they just want no nuclear weapons and so on and so forth. So perhaps there is a change of heart, you might say, on the on the interactions with Iran through the U.S. Maybe it's just another new game that's being played, but a positioning or something. But definitely, it's nice to see. It's nice to see that they're at least offering to talk. This is a beginning. So that happened on the weekend.
I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't want to bring it up. That's not the only change. There are a lot of more changes, which are the decision, instead of sending 15,000, now they're sending 1,500 soldiers. So it's a change. It's good. It's very good. And we are all together working on this. No matter what these tiny little bits are coming or dripping in through the news, but you can see what we all understand, the words repositioning. So the repositioning has taken place, and more repositioning will take place. And that's the beauty, because we are all standing together for that change to be realized. Because we care. Otherwise, we would not sit down today on the table and debate and create and work on it. I hope that a lot of knowledge seekers and council members have sent out the peace treaty, the World Peace Treaty. Make it known in public domain, because you change, you touch people's heart and emotion when they read what is in that agreement. Anybody? Any more sharing, or shall we start creating the wish? And how will we compose this wish? How can we start writing a wish which will stop this and put it in a very beautiful way? How can we achieve this? Unless you want to wait a little bit longer until there are more knowledge seekers walking in. But at least it gives you already an idea what to start working on. Anybody, any other topics that they want to share on the table? It's your time, it's your platform. Come forward and share what you would like to ask, or share the knowledge you carry. It's going to stay quiet today. Any of the council members are present that they can give a feedback from their work where they are present at this given moment. We already had the pleasure to listen to Ursula. Paul Yatut, do you have a clear line to speak, or Dr. Gatwa? Do you have any feedback from your point?
Hi, Caroline. Sorry, I will come back later.
No problem. Another thing, Dr. Gatwa, are you present? Do you have a stable line? I know that you've been struggling the last few weeks. He must have problems. Jamila, do you have any news? council member for the Arabic language.
Hi, Carolina.
Hi, Jamila, welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, clear.
Okay. The feedback is what we are seeing happening in Sudan and around Gulf countries. So as you noticed last week or last days, they organize a summit for between Arabic countries, and so they discuss what is happening between Iran and Arabic countries and all this area, Middle East. So I was following the result, but the result did not give, how can I say that? It was not a big result as we can, for me, it was not efficient result, or it was discussion. So they discussed about Iran, and I noticed between the summit it was a panicking meeting, or it was emergency meeting. But the result after the meeting, I did not notice that a big result after that. So this is my point of view. And now what I can see, it's Sudan, which is now starting to have some trouble with people in the street. But I wish it will stop and they will find a solution. The other side is another side is Algeria. As we spoke few months about that, it was about the situation in this side to make it to not turn it in a problem with all the nations and in trouble in the streets. So I'm following that, and they are, I cannot say quiet, but they are wise enough to stabilize the discussion between people in the street and the government, the transition government. So in conclusion, I can say there are some movement among the Arabic countries. So it looks like the movement they are trying to find solutions or stabilization, or to evolve in what is happening now in the globally in this area and worldwide. So I think it's the global. It looks like as a global situation, movement, discussion, trying to find solution, and trying between themselves to find some alliances. So I wish that they will find better solution for the nations, for the people inside the countries. I started to do a wish last week, and maybe we can discuss this wish later on. Carolina, this is what is happening from my point of view in my area. Thank you for asking.
You're muted there, Carolina, so we can't hear you.
Thank you very much, Jamila, for... I needed to search for my button. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Thank you for sharing. And if you need any support on any level, Jamila, just bring it on the table.
Thank you.
As it is equal for every single knowledge seeker. When you want to bring the change, be the change and share it with us so that we can work together on it.
Thank you, Carolina. Last few weeks, I can say that I was trying to find a wish which can target Saudi Arabia to how can I say that to find stability and freedom inside the country, and to give opportunity to evolve, to the population to evolve with honor, in peace, and with integrity. So,
Jamila, maybe
yes.
you can bring that wish from the Universal Council chat onto Rick's platform. We can compose the wish for you.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be happy to bring it. Let me just bring it from, where is it?
Rick, is it normal that the screen is black?
No, you should be seeing the wishes document, the KF Wiki.
No, I don't. I have a complete black screen already for quite a while.
Maybe you need to refresh your Zoom or something, or find the other screen. Do you have a Zoom label at the top? Does it say zoom.us, and can you go to window?
No.
Does it have a different place to move the focus to another window?
No, I can see everybody's picture, but I don't.
Sorry, just lost your audio.
I said I'm gonna go out and come back in, but I will
Yeah,
lose.
I think that's what you'll have to do.
Yep, I can't get it. Okay, see you in a second.
There might be a Zoom update as well that might have something to do with it. Okay, well, Carolina will be back in a minute or two here. Dan, I recognize that you had your hand up there, so, but Carolina wanted to hear from the people from the Universal Council first.
I'm wait, don't worry.
Okay, you've learned patience here, haven't you?
Now I got a screen.
Okay, good.
So Rick, I sent it to you, the wish. Can you see it?
Sent it to me how?
In the chat, in the Zoom chat.
Okay. I can find my Zoom chat here. Okay, got it. Okay, I'll put that into the bottom here. I believe that's, you see if that's correct. Okay, it reads, I am present as you see Arabic in giving unconditional love, integrity, honor, to unify and build my community with awareness, maturity, in forgiving, in peace, and shining her beauty with the one nation. Sorry, perhaps I should have got you to read that, Jamila. Maybe you would like to. And maybe you would like to read it in Arabic as well, just for the record.
Before, I would like to just explain. So maybe just to give some comment. I said that I was targeting Saudi Arabia as a key actor in this area, Middle East, and also among the Arabic countries. So I wanted really to make a wish that Saudi Arabia turn his intention inside his country, his population or his nation, to work with it, to make it develop more, or to care more about it, and instead of I cannot say ignoring it, or to give it more importance or more opportunity to be seen like shining population in many ways, in many ways, because what I am hearing and what I'm noticing is Saudi Arabia, from the point of other countries, is seen not in the
Say it in French.
Ah, ok. Il ne le voit pas avec bienveillance les pays arabes, ou les populations des pays arabes ne voient pas la population saoudienne avec bienveillance, parce que ils se montrent très différents et très hautains par rapport au reste des pays arabes. Est-ce que tu me comprends?
Oui, je vous comprends.
Merci, Caroline.
Autant means that they think they are a force by themselves.
Yeah, they are thinking, the other countries, Arabic countries, think that they are seeing Saudi people in another level. They are like arrogant. They are not caring. They feel that they are different from the other Arab countries or Arab nations. So this arrogance should change.
Arrogance, c'est le plus mieux mot pour ça.
Oui. Arrogance, yeah.
Ou
I think.
chauviniste. C'est comme les Français chauvinistes.
Oui, chauviniste.
for the people which maybe are not so familiar with sometimes the way we say about the French people, they're chauvinist, means they think they're the most important person on this planet because they're French. So,
Yes,
Jamila,
yes, I agree. And that sometimes I call them, I have three French boys, so I can speak. I worked for France, but much cocorico style often, and it's terrible.
Jamila is saying the same thing about the Arab nation or the Arab people, that they think they're chauvinistic, so they think they're above and they think they're different. So she wants to.
Yeah, Saudi, more than the others.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to precise that I love France. It's a beautiful country with very beautiful places, and I'm sure that France will also awake.
But you also have one other thing, and the benefit of France, and most probably also in the Saudi, that is that they live like God in France, as we say. They take the day with a nice, big, nice, beautiful breakfast, pain de français, a nice coffee, le joie de vivre, they say in France. But I think that the nation where Jamila is referring to, I think they live the same way of custom, culture-wise. They enjoy life.
Yeah. Yes.
They really enjoy life.
Yes.
An afternoon is an afternoon, and a coffee is a coffee, and a lunch is a lunch, and a dinner is as important as you had your breakfast. On vivre avec le joie comme un Dieu en France.
Exactly. And in Provence, la siesta, c'est la siesta. It's like in Mexico. I don't feel that. So it's good to rest. Beautiful place. I will show you a little bit the environment. So you will come for holidays. I hope you this summer, because I will have many fruits and vegetables. I don't know what exactly comes out, but they have planting. The Romanians and the Spanish more than 2,000 seeds. So
you're gonna need a lot of glass jars. So ask your visitors to bring all their glass jars so you can compost them for the winter.
Oh yes, no problem.
So think about it now before they arrive, to tell them to collect all their leftovers of empty jars. A good idea, yeah, to make a lot of compost.
This is a brilliant idea. Yes, and now we know how to make. We know
and
to make
sugar.
Rauch. Yeah, sure. Yes, there are other. I will learn. I will teach them how to avoid sugar.
So when we come down to your wish, Jamila, if I may reposition your wish. So if Rick can start below. Because I noticed a few things that you definitely don't want in that wish if you want to change the position. I think you got to know me by now. I always have to put my finger in it.
Which is good. I need that. I am sure that's why I was, it's a draft for me. I know that we are going to work together on that. To make it beautiful, maybe for others.
It is a beautiful wish. So if we can start, because it is Jamila's wish, it's a personal connection with, you said Saudi, eh? Not, if you want to go specific, would you like to change or at least point out to which community you want it? Because it's not pointed out here.
Yeah, I started specific to Saudi. Then I was thinking, because we discussed a lot before, all of us, with you and all the UC, and we said, let's let's make it global or not too much specific. So I need maturity and peace for all the Arabic nations, but in the same time, I want to target specifically Saudi because Saudi is really a key actor in this country, in this region. If Saudi, for me, this is my feeling, if Saudi change his behavior, it may and become more, bienveillant.
More well behaved.
Yeah, to others, it will change
the whole situation.
The whole situation.
Okay, so if we start, I am present as a UC, as a Universal Council member, Arabic language. Giving unconditionally for in Saudi, or do you have more words, or is it just Saudi?
Saudi Arabia or Saudi nation, Saudi Arabian nation.
For Saudi Arabic nation. And then you have to be very aware what you create, because you are present as a council member, Arabic language, giving unconditionally for specifically to point out Saudi Arabia, as you explained, because they are a pivot point in the change for the whole Arabic communities.
Yeah.
Now, how do you want them to stand out? You remember, Jamila, when I requested, it's quite a long time ago, when I requested the exercise with the question, how would you say that your nation or your country or your language stands out as with the most beautiful gift they carry? What do they carry in a sense that you know that they carry? Because that is what you have to increase. Not that they don't have. You got to bring on the table how beautiful they are. What do they carry in essence as Saudis? If I may refer to that in this way. What are the most beautiful people that you straight away from your heart can say? Because that is what you're going to have to bring out in them. And that is what people will see, not the rest. Because if you put any attention to whatever is not good, that is what you're going to feed. Because we are going to give to your wish. So you're going to have to make them like a brilliant, beautiful diamond standing out. What do they carry in essence as their beauty as Saudis?
I would say wise. They are wisdom. I would say wisdom. For me, they should be a reference of forgiver for anything happening among others whatever is done for them or for each being, they should be a forgiver, and as they are the, how can I say that, the starting point of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam place.
Can I jump in?
Just I finish just my sentence and you can, Jalal. As they are the representative and the soul of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this place, more than the others, more than every Arabic people, they have to be the example or the reference in terms of love, forgiveness, peace, and shining and the beauty.
So,
yes,
so
yeah.
the word you have used up there, Jamila,
Yeah.
they are in wisdom, they are forgiving, they live in peace, and they are mature, yes?
Yes.
So these are the beautiful qualities you are bringing forward as Saudis, yeah?
Yes. And caring people they are.
Are they also, my God, what word do you use? If you are always, you always have your doors open for strangers.
Hospitality.
Hospitality and karama, we say karama, so it's really
if you have, if you can't express it in the English language, certain beauties of the Saudis, bring the word in Arabic and just try to give us the explanation so we can find the word. But I know when you create a wish in your own language, it will carry your essence because it is for the Arabic speaking people. But it's us to be able to add to your wish. That's why I'm asking what you are referring to. They carry their hospitality, they carry wisdom, and they carry the respect towards Muhammad, yeah?
Yes,
the Prophet.
yes. Yes.
They're respectful to their Prophet.
So honor, respect, hospitality, wisdom, for me, and peaceful. Peaceful. So wisdom, hospitality, respect.
Perhaps we can allow Jalal to come in and maybe had a word besides the hospitality, or was that what you were trying to add, Jalal?
If the lady is allowed.
Yes, of course. Jalal, my friend.
They needed to complete the thought there, Jalal. So
go ahead.
Maybe you can jog them on here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For more than 1400 years, Saudi Arabia is the server of the nation and serve for the religion of Islam. And for all these years, all these people, they put fire in the front of the house. That mean anyone can see the fire from further away. He can come and he will be respected and he will be served. So I think that what Mr. Cass said, this word, the wealth within, not what belong, it's coming very direct in this position. Because these people think that their wealth is what they have, belong to them. If we want to change this one, the wealth within, and that is what's really shortage in this nation.
And Jalal, if I may just add, this wealth has been given for them to serve
Yes,
the nation, not to keep it for themselves. That's
exactly.
why there is something which is wrong somewhere. That's why
Exactly.
they have
May
to
I ask,
do. Yeah,
may
please.
I ask a question, Jamila, to understand your explanation? What, if I understood correctly, the wealth is shared among the people, so they are looking after their own population, yes? Everybody is well looked after, yeah?
Not 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Not all in the same level. There are still as many countries, other countries, corruption. They have corruption as well. They have poor people as well.
No, Jamila. I'm staying with the Saudis.
Yes,
They
I
are
am talking about
caring for whoever lives within their borders. They are taking care of. Yeah.
And the meaning, what is belong, Caroline, you need to understand this word exactly. What's belong,
No.
what within.
No confusion. Because I'm gonna give you an example. Why? I'm trying to find a very good example where this is not taking place. I'm going to go to an extreme, but don't pin me down. I'm just trying to use it as an example. India is a very rich country. It has a wealth beyond. It has a nature beyond. It has resources and it has the population for it to carry it. But because of the caste system, it only goes to a few layers and the rest are on a survival mode. That is what I'm trying to bring as the beauty of Saudi, that they are treating each national person within their own infrastructure, within their own wealth. They are looked after correctly, yes?
it seems like that, but it's not fully true.
So
It said if you check some information, I cannot confirm. I just reading the different news that a third of Saudis are poor. Not all are taking care. They have, as every country, they have some levels, some rules, etc. So it's not distributed equally among the population. I know, for example, they have we see out of Saudi, we meet mostly rich people. But if we go inside, they have people different level, poor or just very how can I say that? Not
basic.
Yeah, basic. Yeah. So it's not the wonderful shared wealth inside the country.
I'm telling you what is belong. Look, Caroline, this is
no.
tribe. This is tribe community. You understand? Tribe community.
I'm trying to understand something, Jalal, because we spend time in Dubai, yes, which is also within that kind of framework. And to my understanding, everybody is looked after. I
Yes.
don't say
Yes.
that they all have an equal amount of money in their bank account, but there is no starvation. There is for
Yes.
everyone housing, food, medical care, school coverage, all the basic needs are covered.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, in this way, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you're trying. That is exactly my point. That they are keeping it within their own nation, and they look very well after their own population, because every single person, to my understanding, what I have understood is they have everything to the basic needs, but comfortable basic needs. There is no starvation, there is no sleeping on the streets and having no homes condition. They carry a wealth which they don't share outside. That's what you're trying to.
Yes and no. So inside the country, my feeling is not only about the wealth inside. As you said, the minimum is covered. Okay, so as I was talking about, they are the reference of the other Arabic countries in terms of religion representative and wealth. They are wealthy. So as it is said in Quran, if we are receiving wealth, if we are having a lot of wealth flowing for us, it's not only for us. It's not only given for us. It's to be distributed and to help and to serve others. So that's why other countries' point of view or perception of that is they should be distributing more to countries which are in need than keeping that inside or just distributing that in Western countries or in the banks, etc. So they have to make a balance between what they are doing with that wealth.
Yes.
So this is
now I'm bringing something which I know I'm coming from a different corner, but this is exactly the beauty they carry for their population, the Saudis. And it is when you make them to stand out with that beauty that other countries will learn from it, because they take care of their citizens. And because this is, if you stimulate that point of caring for their own, how they are looking after them, the whole infrastructure is really very well dedicated towards their own. I do agree with that. But there is nothing wrong with that, because if you make that to stand out, how they are doing it, because that's their beauty, then that knowledge, that view of, as an example, it will make them to stand out, to see beyond their borders. But if you make them to stand out, to shine that this is a country who does this for their population, then they incite the others to take advice from the Saudis, to take advice and maybe speak of investment from the Saudis for that to be achieved in their country as well. So it is not a negative. It is actually a very beautiful gift. And this is what you have to increase for them to shine, so others are eager to learn from them. So their position is actually correct towards, if you look at the 99% outside their country and their borders, they are doing very good. They're living by example. Doesn't matter how much they are, because we should never look into one's pocket, but look how they behave and how they act upon it. And they're doing a great job. And that is my point. If you elevate them in that beauty, then the others will learn from them, and then they will be more, because they are hospitality. They carry that invitation to invite people to come and join them on dinner. They already carry those essence. They just don't know how to share it within the same freedom as they do for their own nationals. So if you make them to stand out with that beauty, then the others will start knocking on the door of the Saudis for advice. Now, you put them as such a beauty that they start attracting what is needed outside. Now you understand what I'm trying to go? Does that make sense?
I understand your point, but I am not fully agree with what you are saying. It's I see what they are doing, sharing dinner, etc. So if it is only during Ramadan time, yes, every country is doing that. But if it is all along the year, and sharing that with the neighbors, and going to share that and to show this example in the other countries, yes, but it is not the case.
Yes, but if you want to change them, you got to make them that way.
Well, why don't we have a look at what's actually going on there, rather than talking in generalities. This is the program they have in Saudi Arabia that I have up on the screen here. It's called the Citizens Account Program. It's a cash transfer program, so that citizens in Saudi Arabia get monthly payments from the state.
As what?
As a form of basic income, to avoid the higher rates of poverty that would otherwise occur despite higher prices for oil, fuel, and energy. So this represents about 13 million people, or more than half the population, are on this program.
Yeah, and they give it as a gift from the king. You understand what is the problem?
There is no problem. Jalal, that is exactly what I'm trying to get to you. It is not a problem. Have you seen it happening anywhere else? No.
Well, this is what I brought up earlier, that we need to have a mass transfer of funds to the people who need it, the ordinary peoples of the world.
It was happening in Libya. It is happening in somehow in Algeria.
Well, it's actually happening in virtually every country of the world, is considering this idea of a basic income for their people. And maybe through Saudi Arabia is sort of an example of how that operates, because they've been doing it for quite some time. So this is an interesting idea that's been brought up here for sure. But whether it's, like Jalal brought up the idea that it's sort of the state giving it to you, and it's this gift from the state and so on. Well, I mean, if my government wants to give me that gift of paying for all my basic expenses, I would be very happy for that right now.
Yeah, from the government, because you belong to the government. But not
no, I don't belong to the government.
From the king.
No, I don't belong to the government. I don't belong to a king. I don't belong to anything. But I belong to this planet, and I do work on this planet to help others. And I deserve to have my basic expenses covered by one of the richest countries in the world, Canada.
By your country. Definitely. By your country. Yes, you are right. Not
yes, we have countries, but it's actually my planet, because we should have the world organization taking care of this, and not every little country doing it their own kind of way, the way they try to do things in the past. And it doesn't work that way. We need a big general change, like a sea change, as they call it, where the tides rise, and it brings all ships up with the tide, basically. And that's it has to be more than just an individual country's point of view on it, because some countries are more well off than others, and some are more greedy than others with systems that are set up that way. It's a difficult thing, but this is what's being considered by, I think, virtually every country of the world. I know Canada is, and the US is even considering such a thing. There's Britain and other European countries. It's all over the world is now starting to consider, how do we take care of people? Because the poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer, and that discrepancy is causing a lot of friction and a lot of problems. And plus, when people have a basic income, then they can spend it on products that get produced, and it helps stimulate the economies and all of that kind of thing. So everybody gets happy, is the idea, at least.
Yes, and that was my point to make it in that kind of wish is, if you consider that the king is the head of state, the head of the country, and he has set this structure into motion, then he is a good king. Compared to other rulers, that is a beautiful example. And that is where the hinge sits of the understanding. When you create something which is working good, which is to the benefit of so many within that country, because now we are talking about the country. If you make that to stand out as a wish, that is the beauty they carry, then if you don't, and you want it to change, then you will change the structure, and you will touch every single person within that country. And not to their benefit, but you will change. It's like, a storm that is coming, and we know that we should not change the direction of the storm. If you create the wish, you have to be very careful, because you touch every single Saudi within that structure, which now is beneficial for each of one of them, which is non-existing in so many other countries. Yes, there are a few which carry that kind of system, and it's spreading. So if you want them to change their ways, you have to give them that respect of beauty for them then to be able to change. But if you want to change the storm because it's your opinion that there is something wrong with it, you're going to touch every single soul in it. That means you're going to move the storm somewhere else, and others are going to get hit with it. If you understand that principle, then by making them to stand out as beauties, that is where you change the whole concept to become better. We have had quite a few of these kind of exchange of thoughts and understanding, but that's the only way it works. They will become more in sharing, they will become, because they are already carrying the seed of it. They are already doing it. Every single person in Saudi is treated with respect in that manner. And it comes from the head of state, which is very unusual, because usually it's the government which puts it in motion because of the social structure through taxes. In this case, the money is there.
The king owns everything, my dear. The king owns everything.
So he can, because he takes good care of everything.
Yeah.
I wish I had a king like this, Jalal.
My dear, I will not wish for that, because if you want to receive something, you need to kiss his hand. And I don't think anyone will accept that.
That will change. That is the you know something? You know the condition. You know our condition. I wish I had a king like this.
I wish that all I had to do was kiss a hand and I'd be taken care of for the year. That would be fine by me. I'd kiss anybody's hand for that. Pretty much.
It's a matter of respect.
Some people I might have rubber gloves to kiss the hand, but I would kiss.
I mean, come on. You got to put the beauty out for it to shine better. Not to start taking away the building blocks which are standing out as a beauty.
What about if all of the kings of the world, if that was their main job, was to hand out money instead of all the other things they do? That was like, we make it as, this is your main job. You now have a job to do. Otherwise, you're going to be jobless. We're going to take away your kingship. But we're going to allow you to be king, but you only have one job, and that is to give away money. And to give away as much of it as you possibly can. That'll be your job. And to all those who need it. And people wouldn't have to kiss their hand necessarily, because they probably get tired of that anyway as kings. But they would, maybe have some sort of connection to that kingship, but they don't even need it. If they're there, just there to hand out money, maybe not money literally, but to hand out benefits or whatever, then maybe that's the main job they should have. And we have sort of a template or whatever from the Saudi community on, they have a history of that, like you're saying, Jalal, for probably over 1,000 years of doing this kind of giving out of benefits to those who kiss the hand of the king, or at least to pledge allegiance or agree not to be at war with them, or at a minimum. In other words, to at least agree to be in peace, which seems to be the part that works into this agreement. Surely being at peace would be part of the agreement, as far as giving people money and benefits and so on. You would have an agreement that that money and benefits is not going to be used against you to destroy you or something like that. So it seems like maybe we have sort of a template or a way of moving forward, or at least bringing out that aspect.
You know what's the problem?
It may have been corrupted over the years, and maybe that's what you're going to bring up. But
they are, yes, they are, because they have the mentality of slaves. There is no equality. You understand? We are not against anyone here. We are against their mentality. That's all.
But don't they have the mentality that each person is from Allah, part of God?
No. They say it, but they do not perceive it.
Well, if they say it, you can't say that every one of them don't perceive it. So surely some of them have a memory of what the meaning really is. Don't you?
It's a tribe country. It's a tribe country. What's belong to me? That's all. What's belong to me? My family, my relative, my community, not community, my tribe, my name. You see, you understand? And then last thing, who is coming from outside and will join me, will be like nearly slave for what I am going to give him, that he will be obeying me. This is the problem, not another thing.
Well, that's the problem, but that might be the problem due to the corruption that's built up and so on, or the attitudes that have built up. But that doesn't mean that the system can't work with the proper attitudes and the ethos and the ethics behind it. With transparency is all it takes. If everyone sees every single transaction and they can see it very transparently, no one's going to be able to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. And this whole idea of slave and master, well, that's becoming old-fashioned, because it turns out if through the colonialism is basically had it now. That's like I brought up earlier. They've admitted to genocide, and this is a big thing. It's not, you know, and it reflects through the whole system of colonialism from Britain and the way other countries do it nowadays and so on. And this is the slave-master relationship. But the problem with slave and master is those who are the masters finally recognize is if you're a slave driver, a slave master, that takes up a good deal of your time and energy, is maintaining these relationships with the slaves, because you can't just have slaves. You have to make sure the slaves are in good health. They have to have a house over, a roof over their head. You have to make sure they're busy all the time. They have to arrange the work, and you have to do this and that and this and that. The worst thing I can imagine is having 1,000 slaves to maintain. My God, I have enough trouble with my own life without trying to arrange my own life, let alone the lives of 1,000 other people. So this whole idea of being a slave master is old-fashioned. And you know, the king, you think the king wants to sit there all day? Because I've seen the lineups of people that come to some of the authorities like that in these countries, and it's a long lineup, and it's virtually all day. They sit there and listen to people's complaints or their problems, and then they grant them this, they grant them that. But they have to sit there all day and do this and tolerate all these people's problems. You imagine sitting there listening to people's problems all day and trying to come up with solutions, and that's your job. Well, that's not much of a job in my estimate. It is a job. That's the thing. It's a total job. And who would actually want that? It's hard to imagine. But there are those that want the control and want to still control others. But they're finding it more and more difficult because the others are getting better informed and are elevating themselves. So that's the idea, that we used to have slave drivers on this planet because people are so out of control that they needed to be controlled. But now, as we elevate, all humans are becoming more elevated, and we're more able to control our own emotions and control ourselves and control our lives and become actual creators in our lives, rather than just subject to the creation or to the results of others. Then more and more the populations aren't willing to be controlled by the masters, let's say, and the masters are less willing to control others. Look at the British aristocracy now. Are the young kids coming in, do they want to become king and queen? Not really, no. Geez, I'd rather just, you know, take off to Africa and hang out there for a few years with my wife. This is the mentality now. It's a different mentality. They don't want those responsibilities. They'd rather do some other things in life. So I think perhaps that is fading even in Saudi Arabia, I'm imagining, and there's some hints of that, I think. So if we focus maybe on the methods or the
Can I remind you one thing, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
You remember when you speak about donation to the foundation, and there is a lot of money to donate, and you said be careful from where you get your money. And Mr. Cash said, yes, that is exactly the point. Is this money came from goodness or from robbery? And it is donation for the foundation. So when we speak about goodness in everything. Wealth within me not belong to me. This is perfect word for them to understand it, to see it, to work with it, and to be it.
Where did this money come from? That you say they are so rich. Where did they come from? From the oil?
From the people who is going to Hajj to Mecca.
Jalal, if I can just say something. It's,
Yes.
so we have different things here. So let's do not mix many things in the same time. So they have a revenue from oil, of course. This is the main, from my point of view. They have mining, they have many resources. But so you are saying from the Mecca, but the Mecca is one thing. They are taking from people and they are spending for people when they are coming from the Hajj. So I don't think this is bad. This is good, and they are adding to take care about these million people coming in 1 month to spend to make their Hajj. So I don't agree to go to this direction. So the revenue they are getting from oil, it's from their land, from their country. So I don't think they are taking that from they're stealing from somewhere. It's their own.
No, I'm not saying they're stealing. I'm sorry. I'm not stealing. I'm not saying they are stealing.
Okay, so it's good. So
No, I'm not like this. But I'm saying what they give to their people. If you give with condition, we are saying here, in giving unconditional, without condition.
Jalal, listen, darling. I'm trying to make an understanding point. I wanted to know the source of the income of the country, which Jamila answered me. It's their own resources which they have and are deploying and have created a market for it to earn the money which has come in, not a few, but in a lot, because of the need and the request worldwide for it in the first place. So they generated it by themselves. They haven't stolen, they haven't robbed, they are not thieving in that kind of way. They are self-sustaining themselves. The whole beauty which sits and came as a topic on this table is, if every nation with their own resources would treat their own people in this respect, like the Saudis are doing with their own kind, then you can make them to stand and shine like a beauty. Because at the time what they did, and maybe even still today, they are not aware that they are doing anything wrong. They don't know, they might now start getting the wind of it, that depleting the earth of that precious cover that the earth needs, maybe they will start reducing pulling it out. But the whole topic of what Jamila is saying is that they carry an arrogancy. But if you, as we have discussed so many points, you know something, they can't stand in this kind of arrogance because they are doing it. They are doing and taking care of, as an example, when you compare it to the majority on this planet. There's nothing wrong in that. And if you make them to stand out more, how they're taking care and how their system is working, because they haven't done like the Europeans to go to God knows where, colonizing and depriving others from their wealth by stealing and thieving, my God, they are a better example than some others, yes? What Jamila is trying to do is that they stand even more in their beauty, that they behave better and bring that arrogance a little bit lower.
Yes.
Yes, but then
Exactly.
you have to make them to stand like this beauty before they can do it.
Exactly, because this wish will come true. That's why I'm saying let us go with the real beauty. Change everything.
That is their beauty already. That is their beauty. Because they are a living example. I always made sure, if you go through the wishes which we have been working together, I would always remove every point of negativity. Because that is the feeding box you give. But if you feed them with the beauty, then they elevate. And it's worked everywhere and every single time. We have the proof of it. So the discussion and the friction is out of place. But you brought actually the points where they are so good at that you have to increase it. Because then they can share more and they can give more because they are already standing in that kind of beauty. That's the understanding of when you feed and you want to elevate, you have to give for them. Do you remember when Mr. Keshe, we listened to it in the soul teaching? He said, don't make a wish that there is an attachment to it for you to receive. You have to throw the telephone number in the air for it to be received. That is how a wish is working. That is how the beauty of a wish is working. That's why I said, you want to elevate the Saudis in that beauty, you got to throw them in the air as a beauty, because they elevate to a higher level for them then to be seen by the others to elevate to their level, which is already a beautiful level. Maybe now you understand the sequence where I was trying to guide you to. That's why I asked Jamila, what are the beauties of that country? And she just named all of them, and all the discussion came on the table. We are not there to judge. We are there to see their beauty and to bring that beauty in a higher state so that they go above, they even elevate more, so people can take their example because they are doing good. And then because you elevate them, automatically those sharp edges of what you don't agree with will just fade away. That is how you elevate. You understand now?
Yes, of course.
Jamila, because it's your country, it's your wish.
Yeah, yes, of course I understand, and it is going in the same way that I was thinking at the beginning. I wanted to say I want them to turn to the nation to shine more and stop feeding, for example, other direction that harms the rest of the countries. You understand what I mean? If they are taking care of the nation to shine more and to have more wisdom and to develop more and to evolve more, they will stop, for example, paying to buy a weapon or to pay for another countries to come to for example, to kill Yemen people or etc. So I want them to be busy developing the beauty of the country instead of doing this stuff, to stop that. Because if they are not paying or spending the wealth outside, it will we will avoid trouble in this area, in this region. You understand what I mean? I repeat it.
But you've put in conditions for their shining in a way. You say it's okay for them to shine as long as they don't do this and don't do that. But you have to leave that off the wish somehow, that it's not a wish against something.
No, it's not the wish. It's not the wish. I am just explaining. I want to explain why I feel that if they are taking care inside the country, they will not go. They stop paying, for example, for weapons, a massive quantity of weapons coming from the other countries. So, and we will avoid many problems around this country and in this area in Middle East. If
Jamila, if I may.
It's not a wish. It's not a wish. It's just an explanation or comment around the wish.
Yes,
yes, Karen.
They already received the verdict that whatever they have invested in, and I don't think they will be that, as you say, they are so in their wisdom. I don't think with what they have purchased, if it is them, I don't know. I don't think they will make the same mistake again because they are already being informed what mistake they have made. So I don't think you have to worry about that because that has already been finished. That is already finished. And somebody asked a very strange question, I can't remember where. What are we going to do with these boats? And I couldn't answer at that given moment. But the answer is convert them for homeless people, make them homes. They got all the facilities. They have the water, they have all the living quarters for what, 2,000 sometimes, 3,000 people they can put in housing projects. Anchor them to the port and convert them into homes for people. And that's the best solution they can do. At this given moment, I think they are biting their teeth that they made such a big mistake. Because it did not so much come from arrogance, it became from the wrong friendship, as they say. Mr. Keshe explained it, that these boats are obsolete. Don't even think about what they even can do with it. They can just be used as a beautiful yacht, and I hope they put people in it as a housing project. If you want them to come into the position that you want them, not to make these mistakes, you got to elevate them. And elevation is to put their beauty out because they are beautiful people. They all can make mistakes. And I think they have gotten the message faster than you and I couldn't even imagine. When Mr. Keshe was speaking it out, it was already received. So I wouldn't worry about that. They won't make that mistake again. Don't worry.
Yeah, So I'm just saying why. It's the reason why I want this wish to be turned to the nation. So I understand. I think that they will not do any more damage around themselves because I was thinking just to Yemen, as Yemen suffered and is still suffering. But I hope and I wish they will now build Yemen and help Yemen as a neighbor.
They did not destroy Yemen, darling. You have to go to who was the initiator of it. You always have to go to the source of the problem. They got to clean it up. And
I
then
understand.
then
I
the
agree
others
with you.
will follow.
Mm.
Then the others will follow. They are generous. And they will be setting up plans to support Yemen. But it has to quiet down. At this given moment, the Americans and the Israelis are not, and there are a few more which are involved, that doesn't become peaceful yet, or not stabilizes the way it should, because it has to go through a course, as Mr. Keshe has explained. There is a reason why that has happened to where it has happened. And if we can understand that, it's like the storm. It had to pass through it for a reason. Most probably, Mr. Keshe will open more wisdom to that if we request for it on Thursday morning. Why did Yemen have to have? But nobody is putting the question on the table. Then we will understand why Yemen was in the position it was. And then you can reposition a lot. That's why I said we need to ask the questions why. Then we will be able to understand why they were put in that position. We are all feeling so sorry for Afghanistan. The way there is no way of that get even peaceful. But go to the structure of it. What have they done? What have they created? And they're part because they are the native of the Jewish people. They carry the same behavior as the Jewish. They are just fighting against one another themselves. Sorry for that. It's the same, just go step back to where Mr. Keshe opened, the understanding what was going on with Trump, with the situation, with the Arab, with so many things. If we know, then you can understand, then you reposition yourself, and then the whole direction changes. They won't make that mistake again if that was your fear, Jamila. Definitely not. Not with what
No, I am not, Carolina. I am not. I understand the teaching and the explanation from Mr. Keshe that some things happen for good reason, to clean some situation and to switch to another better one. So
yes,
I am okay with that.
The word that you can put in your wish is their generosity, because then you make them generous. Generosity is the word you're looking for. That they are generous towards whatever, because then they show their beauty in their wisdom.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
This is
Want
a good
them
one.
to be generous to the neighbors, for rebuilding, for God knows what, then you bring them to the point of generous.
Good morning. Dan from Romania. I have one question. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I don't know very well geography. But you say Saudi Arabic Saudi. It's other part of Saudi. It's not only Arabic. This is my question. Because I don't know it include only this place how to say, like a part of nation Arab, an Arabic nation, or it's another piece, or it's like a region, Saudi Arabic. It's existing
It's actually called Saudi Arabia, not Saudi Arabic. Saudi Arabia is the country.
I know, but my question is, exists another when you say Arabia Saudi, Saudi. When you say only Saudi, you don't think immediately it's Arabic.
So
Right. So we're focusing on Saudi Arabia, not all Arabic countries right now, though. That's the idea.
yeah. So Saudi Arabia in English, and Arabie Saoudite in French, and Saudi in Arabic. So it's the same. It's one country, which is in Arabic peninsula in geography between Red Sea and Persian Gulf. So it's part of the 22 Arabic countries. So yes, 22 Arabic countries. So Saudi Arabia is part of them.
Okay, thank you, Jamila, for explaining. Because when I say Saudi, I already thinking it's one part of one of this Arabian country.
You are saying that in Arabic, Saudi. So Saudi is
Yes.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, my question is, it's enough when you say Saudi, not Arabia, Saudi Arabia, no?
It's depend in Arabic, Saudi. In
Yes.
English, it's Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. So in French is Arabie Saoudite. It's so it's a different language, but it's the same country. It's a different way to say it.
I understand.
المملكة العربية السعودية.
This is
عربية
my
سعودية ولا سعودية؟ عربية سعودية ولا السعودية؟
المملكة العربية السعودية.
ولا مملكة. So the royaume is the kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Different
I
way
don't.
to say it.
Thank you, Jamila. Thank you, Jalal. I understand now. No, because in my mind, it's why it's Arabic Saudi or Arabia Saudita is for me in my language. It's why it's not enough Saudi. Why it's purpose to say Arabic Saudi or Saudi Arabic.
Because
it's not Saudi Arabic. It's Saudi Arabia, which is a totally different word than Arabic.
And if I may add something, so Arabic, Peninsula, we can say Peninsula is good in English, Peninsula Arabic. It's the geography description of the land. Peninsula Arabic is the place where raised this country, become a country. Saud is the name of the tribe which was living in the country of Riyadh. Riyadh is the capital of Saudi Arabia. So Saud is are people who lived in the Riyadh country, and they become the sultan and the king of this country, named by English when they were colonizing the country. So Saud is the name of this population, and that's why it became the name of the country.
Okay, thank you very much for explanation. It's more clear in my mind now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You. And sorry for interruption.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Dan, for that clarification. And so let's get back to the wish here. And now we have So far, we have I am present as a Universal Council member in Arabic language, giving unconditionally for Saudi Arabia nation in their wisdom, hospitality, respect, and generosity. Does that sound okay with you, Jamila?
I am present as a Universal Council member in Arabic language, giving unconditionally for Saudi Arabian nation in their wisdom, hospitality, respect, and generosity.
Maybe you can add, Jamila, maybe, it's just a hint. And servitude.
Servitude is very important, and as the nation designed or appointed, if I may say, to serve the people of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So
are they appointed to serve the people or to serve God? Is that, or is that part of it?
Yeah, to serve God, of course. Each individual is serving God, but there are representatives there. They have the mission taking care of Mecca and the receiving and serving all people coming in this place with generosity, with hospitality, respect, etc. So that's why this the services is very important here as well.
And also, I would insert that. Would that be servitude toward all people, meaning the physicality, or servitude toward all beings, meaning the souls? So maybe that would be what has gotten lost in the translation over the last millennia or so, is that they're there to serve the souls, not to serve the human physicality, perhaps. If they start thinking of it just as the human physicality, it would be a whole different intention and perception in the way things get handled.
I would say all aspects of servitude. Better to include every aspect to make it more beautiful.
I guess that's the part, that's the unconditional that comes into it, yes.
I have another question, if it's possible.
Okay, what do you have?
How is better when I say I am present as a Universal Council member in Arabic language, or we are present as a Universal Council, which means all the language, is my question. Include all the members of Council Universal, not only in language, Arab language, or it's wish of Jamila, like member of Universal Council in Arabic language, or you can include all the members in all the countries for strength of this wish.
I can say I started as Arabic language representative, and why not to make it more powerful? So It depends. If it's we can be specific, and we can be more powerful global. So
Well,
what do you?
we can have both. We can make a global one after this one, because you want your own. You were trying to get clarified on your personal wish, right, Jamila? From your perspective as a Universal Council member in the Arabic language, which is what the way it's written. From that perspective, you're giving unconditionally, etc. So perhaps you can help us make a more universal phrase that we can all give unconditionally for this situation.
I have an idea, if I may. What if we add underneath in a new sentence, we are present in the wish with we knowledge seekers are present in the wish of Jamila. You see, member Arabic.
Yes, but it's different from the question. It's a good idea, but it's different from the question, which was if we all focus on all the UC, we focus on this wish. Is it powerful, more powerful? Or if I keep it specific to the soul of Arabic as Arabic, is it more powerful or not? So this was a good question for me, because I was also having it last week. What do you think?
Caroline, include all, not only member of council, all the council of language, include all the knowledge seekers. It's more powerful, I think.
I think it's both direction. I feel it's both good. Both of them are good, because if I want very quickly to reach the soul of Arabic like that, maybe it's a good one. If we have all the UC members present for the wish, and we said we are present, all of us, it's also powerful. So I still feel the same power behind.
I say it's three situations. One, Universal Council of Members in Arabic language. Two, it's to all Universal Council members. And three, all the knowledge seekers. Its power is like an egg. It's more powerful.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. I think that's maybe we need that in between one here. So we could put in we are present as Universal Council members, and that would include all of the members of the Universal Council, which I'm sure they would agree to this. I'm quite sure.
I understand what Senior Carolina is saying and making, because one piece of members of council is one piece. When you have all the members, it's another piece, bigger. When you have all the knowledge seekers, include all the members and all the knowledge seekers. It's more powerful. But this is my, how to say, is my understanding from this wish. Now it's the other Jamila or Jalal or Senior Caroline or all the knowledge seekers saying not what thinking individually, because all the members, it's thinking and looking in the same direction. Like,
Yeah.
you can making all with apostrophe, no virgule. You putting every first universal council member in Arabic language. After all the US member, after all the knowledge, and you complete totally.
Yeah, the question would be, do we include all knowledge seekers as giving unconditionally to the Saudi Arabian nation? Or do we include all knowledge seekers as being present in the wish of the Universal Council or the wish of Jamila, depending on how you want to look at it? In other words, are we present in witnessing this wish, or are we present giving unconditionally as a group to the Saudi Arabian nation?
It's like when you call my name, I respond quickly. No, when you say Jalal, Jalal is already respond. This wish, when the other beings, it's knowing this wish is already present. I don't know how to explain. When you call Rick, you are already there.
Jalal? Are you there, Jalal?
I'm here.
What do you think?
It's beautiful.
That simplifies everything right there.
It's very simple.
That was the golden or the knife that cut the Gordian knot or something there. It's just simple.
We can keep 3. We can keep the 3. Why not? We are not. Or are we limited?
Are we, pardon me?
Are we limited for?
Well, the only thing would be whether we include a sentence with the third part being that we as knowledge seekers give unconditionally for the Saudi Arabian nation directly, as opposed to are present in the wish of that. So, Carolina, maybe you could give some direction there, because this kind of came up in the last couple of One Nation broadcasts, this idea of being present in the wish as opposed to being sort of inside the wish. In other words, witnessing the wish rather than wishing the wish, in a way.
The way we I started this was specific for Jamila, because she is connected to the Arabic nation, and we can only support her as a Universal Council member in this kind of specific wish, because that's the beauty as knowledge seekers. When you start saying I am present, it means we are present in her wish. So we took the liberty to say we knowledge seekers. So I would love to have the reaction from the knowledge seekers. What is their position within this wish from Jamila? Because it doesn't matter, the minute you are confirming we are or I am present, you are present in that wish. Doesn't make no difference how it stands. you are giving from your field strength because you understood. So I am present as a knowledge seeker, as a council member in the wish of Jamila.
Oh, thank you.
I am present.
I am already present, and I don't know if it's needed. Say again, I am present, because I already present.
Jamila,
I am present also, Jamila.
I'm present.
Jamila, how much you give?
I am present, Jamila.
You are,
Hello.
thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
I am
Hello,
present.
everybody. Hi, Jamila. My dear Jamila, I was a little bit astonished because I had image of elite of Saudis, corrupt, and careless about people, dictatorship, lack of right, human right, lack of giving the right to people to think, even though they might have
Mehran,
education.
please. Mehran, please. We are not going to go on that, please. We are trying to change the position of that country.
Yeah, can I
We are
make a
ready.
change between elite and the nation? Because I
No,
think elite
no,
are
no,
different.
no. We're not going to open that can of worms because I was trying to keep that closed. But specific things came on the table.
Okay.
We are not there to judge nobody.
No, it's not judgment. It's just if I elevate the elites, it's more useful because
No. We don't work that way. We work we work in the wish of Jamila, which is for the Saudi.
Okay.
Whoever is a Saudi worldwide will receive from this gift, from this wish.
Perfect.
If it is an individual or a nation or the structure, whatever is attached to a Saudi, that is where the elevation point sits. Doesn't matter what, because we are trying to walk away from that, whatever, because only with elevating we will position them that the wish of Jamila for the servitude of the Saudis to come into full unfoldment.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you,
So,
Mehran.
you're welcome. Thank you. So I'm present.
Exactly, and this is the giving unconditional for all. So, Jamila, how much you give me to be present?
You are already present.
My God, every time I want to take something, I already in. Okay,
yes.
I am present.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all, knowledge seekers. Thank you for this wonderful and beautiful wish. I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
Voila, here's your wish.
I am present.
You're more than welcome, Jamila. I send a picture to Flint in regards what I spoke about earlier. That will be our second covering of our wish.
Thank you very much. Thank you
You're
all.
welcome. Just copy the wish, Jamila, and
yes,
I'll take a screenshot for it if you, in case you lose it, but it goes live, as Rick says. It is already on the mainstream. How can you share the picture which I send you, Flint, please?
I'm bringing it up now.
Oh, you got a feedback, Flint?
He's got 4 microphones to unmute, so it's expected that probably one came through.
Is possible another intervention quickly asking?
Sorry, you want to ask a question? Did you say, Dan?
Yes, because I see in the Facebook group or to the others in the other social media, the wish the last week from North Carolina is making all the French, Spanish, also in council platform on all the language, but I see only the hands or fingers. It's okay, but it's few people comment or making remark like I am present or comment about this wish, like in your Charter of Peace of Charter. Sorry. Yes, last sentence in last week. South Carolina is putting every possible way in the from the knowledge seekers, but I see it's not respond not quickly or in few moments. I asking how it's not possible. What is doing to what is need to making for involve? It's already involved the other people for not knowing because it's already knowing what happened in this meeting in live or like a picture of this wish or in Wikipedia. Sorry, Keshipedia. I don't know how to say. Yes, Wikipedia. I don't know what is. I sing. I respond. I talk. I wish. It's like a wish. I wish the others it's involved not like me. Better, more.
I don't understand what your question is, Dan.
Why the people in the media, in the Facebook group, in every group of knowledge seekers, it's responding, but not so much how I desire the seeing. For example, you have 1 million persons.
Because it's been suppressed by the mass media. But that will change, don't worry. It's out. People in certain given time, they will bump into it, don't worry. They can't keep this hidden forever.
Okay, I place myself is not needed from a rush or force the others. Others, the reposition like a magnet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. It will change.
already changing to me, to us. When I change it inside, it's already changing outside.
You see this lady, Winona Laduk, appeared with a question. Someone needs to explain to me why wanting clean water, clean drinking water, makes you an activist, and why proposing to destroy water with chemical warfare doesn't make a corporation a terrorist. And that these are exactly the questions humanity has to start asking. Because when you ask the question, I bumped into it. And on base of this, because it's based on depopulating the planet, the answer sits in there. So we can create the wish in 3 different ways. And that is, the wish can be like, can we be, as humanity, can we be explained why? But in a truthful matter, so the truth will start appearing on the table. That's one way of putting it. If somebody can make notes, we can create the wish by requesting for it to be explained to the humanity why. And then you can create a second wish, and you can create a third wish on it. But if we don't ask the questions and we don't push this through on the table, they will carry on because nobody is grabbing them to stop. So knowledge seekers, I invite you on the table today to create a beautiful wish for this to be answered. And I think by requesting an answer with full transparency and full honesty, we will start seeing the results rolling on the table. So Rick, do you have your drawing board? And maybe you can add this picture to it. And it must be happening in the United States, I think, because she looks dressed Indian, this woman. Is that possible, Rick?
You want to add the words to the wishes? Is that what you're saying? The words from Winona Leduc?
You can use it as a picture. And then underneath, we knowledge seekers are requesting.
Okay, well, wait a minute, where does the picture come from? Someone created this graphic and they have rights to the graphic, so we need to get permission to use it if we're going to publish it.
You know, can you, I don't know, no, can we use the wording without using a name?
Well, if we use the wording, then we put quotes around it and put the person's name underneath it. Otherwise, it's called plagiarism. And you're stealing someone else's words that way. This is just a quote from someone. So, I mean, we can put that in as a quote.
Yeah. Whatever is the solution that you can use it in a decent, respectful manner, because I don't know all the laws about this. What we can and what we can't, that needs to be researched, or you can remove the picture and wait till we get the okay for it to be used. I don't know. You do what is, you think it's the best, in the best interest of all. So if Flint, if you can remove the picture or stop sharing it.
Like we could put the quote in, you want to put the quote into the wishes? Is that what you like? Or
An example as somebody is asking the question. And then we build our question upon it. If we don't ask for transparent, in full transparency, why, then it will never stop. We can even create the whys that are bothering or disturbing so many souls to be coming as a fact on the table of understanding. If we wish to ask for the truth, you have the drawing board trick.
the drawing board, whiteboard, you mean?
For the wish, yeah.
Oh, the wishes. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me get that up here.
It's like in meantime when the Rick copy this reading this not asking question. It's the same question when I say why is pharmaceutical, I don't know, not industry, because I don't generalize. It's opposite from a natural way to I don't say cure, or it's better cure is not healing, cure. Or when you smoking, no, cigarette, industry of tobacco, of cigarette, why don't provide such a lot of chemicals inside of your cigarette and continue selling. And when you have making your tobacco cigar, it's forbidden. It's the same way of question. Why don't can I drink water clean? Because the other is polluting.
I was right with her background. She's an author. She's an American activist, environmentalist, economist, and writer known for her work on tribal land claims and preservation, as well as sustainable development. In 1996 and 2000, she ran for vice president as the nominee of the Green Party for the United States. So she's working hard, and I just bumped into her question, which I shared.
That's exactly why we can't take her words and just use them without putting her name underneath her words and having that, okay, you know, it's got to be if we take a quote, we can quote her, and as long as we attribute that quote to her and not to ourselves as that we dreamed it up. That's the important.
No. I didn't want to
She'll allow us to use one of her quotes, but it'll have to be attributed. That's the only thing about it.
No, I thought that you could not put the name because of whatever rights. I still can't figure out what is allowed and what is not
Well,
allowed.
that's the thing. If you use her words without her name, that's the illegal part. That's the
that's why I said to use the picture, because her name is in it and I didn't want to share her
yes,
picture.
but then somebody else made the picture, not her, and then that person has the rights to that picture that they made. The thing about it, there's separate rights there, so we have to be careful that we don't use someone's picture and then someone else's words, and in this case both.
Okay, based upon that wish, you can sort that out if it can or not or how, but our wish is the importance of how are we going to ask our wish? How are you going to create that? I want to know. I want to know for sure in a transparent, correct manner. And you can literally create a washing list because these are our questions. So people should. Start composing. And we can start with the knowledge seekers in a transparent and correct manner, or requesting the positioning Rick, where are you? If you all agree with the way I put it, then we can still adjust it the way you want it. We, the knowledge seekers, I think we can create the condition of the wish. We, the knowledge seekers, standing or present in full transparency and correctness in request
Sorry, I got a confusing message here I had to focus on. What did you have after standing again?
We, the knowledge seekers, or present, remove standing, or present they're keeping you busy, Rick?
In transparency.
No, Rick is occupied. Oh my God, my screen.
Your screen froze there or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's work with in transparency.
present in transparency. Is that?
And I got kicked out at the same time.
Aha.
Rick, what are you doing to me?
I'm just trying to
I
be
don't know why
present.
We, the knowledge seekers, are present in transparency.
That's what Dan suggested. I'm not sure if that's what you want there, but
No, it's what North Carolina is saying.
Seekers are present. Any request of full transparency
It's equal with total transparency. Full transparency is total transparency. It's mean the same thing.
yeah, I would say so generally.
Can you leave out the word request?
I was thinking the same thing, Mark. This is Peggy. I was wondering if we could substitute the word support of instead of requesting, because
No.
Do we not
We are
position?
asking.
Oh, okay. So we're not positioning as that it's already done. We're actually coming to them, asking them to do it. Got it.
Yeah. Yep, because it's not there. Huh? Why would a lady like this ask this kind of question? Why have we asked these questions 100 million times? We didn't get an answer. So, because we all want to be transparent as knowledge seekers, our conduct is in transparency, we can request for the transparency of the conditions that are harming humanity. Because they are in place. So we will start receiving the answers why they are there, and then we can start bringing or adding or creating the path of knowledge towards it. But if we don't ask the question, as we said so many times, how can we receive an answer? Does that make it more correct? What do you think?
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, Mark. I was just typing to go into chat and you spoke my words. So thank you. And thank you, Carolina, for clarifying for this wish. Thank you.
If the lady is asking, and so many others have asked so many previous questions, why don't we ask as a humanity in totality for the transparency? Is that not all right? What do you think, Rick?
Well, I think the transparency is coming one way or another, but I think we need to put the quote down here first so we know what we're talking about in this wish, perhaps, because otherwise it's just kind of drifting at the moment. So if I could get the quote with some actual letters that I can copy and paste, that would be good. I was trying to write it down, but then it disappeared from the screen, and I don't know where the picture came from. But if we get the actual words from the picture and then put them in here with Winona Leduc's
It's
name.
been in your chat there, Rick, in Telegram for 20 minutes.
Oh.
It's the same thing when you're reading something and you put a question, personal question, in same manner, like me, like everybody else, like a bunch of knowledge seekers, saying, what is the difference when you clean water and the other pollution, make pollution of water, and what is my name, what is name of these people of making this disaster. It's the same thing. It's better for not encounter this loud of copy paste. That is my question.
You'll have to try me again on that, Dan. I didn't understand what you're saying. Could you say that again? I'm also trying to type at the same time, so where did my typing go? What happened here? Oh, I'll try it again. Okay. Oh, there it is. Something happened.
You can copy paste now.
Let me see. Okay, so what are you saying here again, Dan?
It's the same when all the knowledge seekers ask him why I'm here, why ask him the same question, no? Why I'm in this planet? Why I drinking this water, or why this water is clean and the other is missing, making disaster or pollution in this water? What is my name? Is the same question, is the same way from the other thinking in same manner. When you're putting now, you have the right of copyright. Now you can work in this wish, like I say. When you don't want to copyright the word of the other, saying with your words, and is basic in same manner, the same question.
I don't understand what you're saying, other than the words that we're saying right now are not, we've agreed to be here. As part of agreeing to be here, then we get to use your words. And the words you just said, for example, are not copyrighted by you because you've agreed to be here in this chat. And anything that gets used in this chat is part of the copyright of the Keshe Foundation. Is that what you meant?
No, it's the same way. When you don't have the possibility of the making one paragraph from one person, no, or picture, it's like a private lesson. You can't share what is inside of private lesson with video or audio, but you can with your perspective, your point of view, what is about inside. This is also the same. You understand? No, it's better to live in this way, because I don't want to lose time for understand me right now. it's better working in this wish what Caroline said. Sorry. I don't sorry, but I shut up.
Right, maybe it's a side thing that that we could get into later or something. Okay, so we have our quote, and then we have the wish here. So let's move along. We're at 3.5 hours now, so we need to end up here soon. How can we complete this wish? We, the knowledge seekers, are present and in request. That word was in question, let's say. In quest of full transparency.
Rick,
Mm-hmm.
do we want to be more specific than that? Do we want to pinpoint off of Ms. Leduc's words, or do we just want to leave it very simple? We, the knowledge seekers, are present in and request of full transparency, period.
That certainly simplifies things. Trying to find my period. Here we go. Maybe we're present and demand full transparency. Require full transparency. Insist on. Carolina, can you give us some more direction?
Stand firm on?
I think Peggy understood, because with me stimulating all of you to make a washing list, you already put the washing list through your mind. It's already past your view. So it is already within the wish. So we can keep this wish very, very short, but very precise. That is what we want. And because we understood the topic, what it is about, it's already present in the wish. So we, the knowledge seekers, are present in request of full transparency for humanity.
The knowledge seekers in full transparency request full transparency for humanity.
Rick, what do you think about adding what Carolina said to the end, for humanity?
Okay. And what do people think of what Mark said about adding we, the knowledge seekers, in full transparency, request the full transparency for humanity?
I like it.
I don't like it because it separates knowledge seekers that are somehow transparent and all of humanity is not transparent. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think
good point. That's reverting back. Good point,
I'm part
Rick.
of humanity. Sorry, I'm not always fully transparent.
And all other living beings, because the plants, the animals are really affected by this as well. The fauna, flora is not only for humanity, we are requesting this. I am present.
I have a question. Why do we need to request? We need to confer, not to request. to make it happen. So when we wish, we are giving. So that means we are not requesting, we are giving. We are conferring full transparency, in my humble opinion.
Thank you, Gatwa.
You're welcome.
What do you think of that, Carolina?
That is my point, to give it to the table for knowledge seekers to start working where I put certain things in certain ways to correct. And it's beautiful. And he's right.
Okay, how did you say it again there, Gatwa, instead of in request?
We confer.
Present and confirm full transparency.
Confer. L-F-E-R.
FER, yeah.
Oh, confer.
That's correct.
Or could we just give full transparency for humanity right now?
Yeah, that's what, when we wish, we give. We make it happen.
Can we add for the planet as well? What do you think?
You decide. We are all together creating the wish. If that is what you feel, yes, why not?
We, like knowledge seekers, is needed to confirm or answer of this question of this lady. Is need. When you say is needed explanation, it's about needed or the explanation. Why? There's a reason. It's implication of knowledge seekers, or it's about the response of this question.
I'm not sure what you're saying there. Could you explain again, Dan?
Is needed, it's about need. This lady is saying. It's someone need to explain to me why. And after, it's about need of explanation from what reason is that, or it's needed for confirmation and answer from this question, of this question. Is need right now, is needed answer for this question, or is needed confirm to putting together or to answer together? This is my question, because I'm not sure what I search. It's like answer it in the question, but I'm not sure yet.
So you're saying that you think the question should be answered that Winona LeDuc says in her quote? Someone needs to explain to me that this is something that needs to be answered to me? I don't
because
understand.
Lady saying I need, when somebody needed something, you or the others or we give, it's offered. This is one point. Second point, it's needed for explanation, understanding. Why?
Well, this is not, it's not that she needs a reason. It's not that she's been looking for a reason all her life why wanting clean drinking water makes you an activist, and why proposing to destroy water doesn't make a corporation a terrorist. It's a figure of speech. It's not that she's looking for an explanation. She doesn't want people to sit down with her and explain to her why this is true. She already knows. She's been working with this for years as an activist. That's what she does.
Is looking in the base.
She would sit down and explain to you why, if you don't know, but it's not something she needs to have explained to her. She's just saying that to activate your mind and to make you think about this situation. She's putting clean water as an activist versus dirty water with as corporations, and putting those side by side to make people think about it. She doesn't want an explanation. She's had thousands of explanations already. She's tired of explanations. She wants to do something about it.
Is not searching to answer.
Yeah, it's not something to answer.
What is the not purpose? Why is in this point of manifestation, not the lady, or not who asking, or who conform? It's
No,
why
no. The reason why is that she wants this to be corrected. She wants correct conduct, not the way it is in the position now, that the ones which are having correct conduct or getting the label as a terrorist, and the ones which are doing the opposite are being called a saint. That's her point of view. That's what her point of calling is. You cannot carry on abusing. And this is why this wish has come on the table, as I said in the beginning. The destruction of life in any shape and form, animals, plants, humans, we are all getting affected by this kind of one way or another way of poisoning or misconduct because they think they have the right. So with creating this wish, we the knowledge seekers are present and confer full transparency for humanity and all living beings. And for sure, as Jamila was requesting, can we add planet Earth as well? Because I think she's receiving the heaviest blows beyond us. When you have an activist, it means they go against what is not correct. They usually never go the other way. The other is always the misbehavior and the misconduct. An activist means you stand up for what is correct. Active means as you, as a knowledge seeker, you are active within this wish. You're active to be there to bring the change. And by participating in the teaching, in the sharing of the knowledge, gathering the knowledge, and definitely passing it on, you are an active member of the totality because you stand your ground for what is correct. She is included in this wish because we are part of her, she's part of us. We are in it together, so if we don't stand up for those, then who will? And most probably, we can maybe, it would be nice, maybe by next week, to collect all the people which are active against those kind of atrocities. And by bringing their name on our wish list, then we can create the wish to elevate them by supporting them to stand out for the correctness. You remember I called upon to all the souls to give from your soul to all the souls worldwide which are working in the direction of peace, for them to be able to receive more from you, to stand out in the crowd as a true walking man or soul of peace. This is the same way when you bring the names of the people which are active to defend what is not right, when we are there for them by putting their names down, we elevate them so they can carry out their work better. And she will be most probably the first one if we can manage to work out if we can and what we can do with her work. If everybody is happy that this wish is complete, we can work another one. I told you there are going to be 3 wishes in this regard, but I think it's time to close down the books and for next week to bring the same topic as a starter to work on it more and open it up more and elevate the souls which are working in this kind of topic like this lady does and so many. I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
Tavakoli is present. I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
I'm present.
Estoy presente.
¿Quién habla el español?
Víctor, Vicente.
Víctor Vicente.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. ¿Dónde va?
En Palma de Mallorca.
Palma de Mallorca. Oh,
Muy bella.
muy maravillosa.
Sí.
Grazie a tu presenza. Il mio spagnolo non si bene perché io parlare troppo di italiano. Mi scusa.
Pero nos entendemos. Es un placer escucharte.
Tu comprendo suficiente in inglese?
No, nada.
Hi ha un chi traduttore para te?
Tengo un traductor.
Yo.
Sí, Úrsula está ahí, pero vamos.
Gracias. Gracias, Úrsula.
Yo estuve en el Oasis con mi mujer, con María.
I am in the oasis with my wife.
Ah. ¿Te gusta?
Mucho. Y estoy preparando los vídeos para que los veáis todos.
Ah, che bene.
Muy bonito.
Io ho explicato a Ursula di tenere tante dell'acqua perché Julio e Augusto e settembre non bene per l'acqua.
Yeah.
Che dovete tirare tante dell'acqua.
Sí. ¿Va a venir agua en julio y septiembre?
Io penso che Julio e Augusto, come dice?
Julio y agosto.
Sì, perché viene tre secco.
Ya, sí. Disfrutaréis de verlo, de ver los vídeos porque ha sido una experiencia maravillosa.
Uh-huh.
I have beautiful experience.
Et tante de soluzioni pour les venir.
And much experience saying Caroline.
Yes. It's
I'm
a
Bueno,
I'm sorry. I forget. I translate. I don't know, in English or Spanish or Romanian. Sorry.
Spanish.
I cannot separate my Spanish and my Italian anymore. Io non posso separato mio spagnolo e mio italiano.
Bueno,
Mi è confidenza che tu comprendere.
nos entendemos.
Comprende italiano mio, non parla bene.
Pero nos entendemos.
Yes,
No,
but
no.
the beauty is that the Italians understand me and the Spanish people understand me. And they're always confused. When I speak Italian, they think I'm Spanish, and when I'm in Spain, they think I'm Italian.
Hemos practicado un poco porque estuvo Maximiliano también y es italiano. Y allí
What
teníamos
is
que aprender de todo.
Come tu parli l'italiano?
Bueno, no, pero lo entiendo.
Ah, ok.
Y lo que no me lo imagino. Como sé de qué va la cosa, pues... Bueno.
Bueno, grazie. Grazie mucho.
Ha sido un placer, Carolina.
Buenas noches y gracias. Okay, Rick, we can wrap it up for today. It's about 10 to 8, most probably. Or 10 to 10 or 10 to 11, your time?
Yes, indeed.
It's
Okay.
early morning, I think, yes?
Yeah, late morning now, yep.
Thanks, team, for all the hard work. And thanks, Jamila and Jalal and other knowledge seekers for the nice discussion. Because it opens doors of understanding how a country is run. And I do honor your wish because they can bring a big difference among their neighboring countries. So we make them beautiful so they can shine and give more. Thank you very much, team, and thank you for the hosting and the co-hosts and all the knowledge seekers. See you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Caroline, and all the knowledge seekers here today for yet another of the One Nation broadcasts. Let me just save the changes on our document here, which is available on the KF Wiki page. And you can even add to it there if you wish. And thanks again to everyone. This has been the 79th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, June 4th, 2019. And stay tuned for the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will be on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Central European Time. And of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshops, which will be, as always, on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central European Time. Bye for now, everyone.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
Plasma products found at keshefoundation.org/store. Soothing, reusable plasma eye and migraine mask. Eliminate eye fatigue and relieve stress in eye area. European certified medical device. Massaging plasma insoles. Bring comfort back to your feet and energize your legs. European CE certified medical device. Antiseptic plasma liquid hand soap. Promotes well-being and relaxation with protective plasma formula. CE certified. One Soul Plasma T-shirt. GAN's formula within the symbols and stripes brings mind, soul, and body into balance. European certified. Pain Relief Pen. Emits a concentrated plasma field at point of pain, efficient up to 3 centimeters below the skin. CE certified. The Magrav's Energizer and Alkalizer raises pH and energizes water through magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Pain Relief Pad, a result of years of research in nanoplasma technology with magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Visit the online store at keshefoundation.org/store or find a distributor near you. Tax and shipping not included.